shadows where the whispers dwell, always trying to unring the bell. The red road calls a path less known, with haunted streets where the eerie winds moan. Creatures lurking just beyond the light, not just tales spun to frighten the night. The masquerade of ghosts, they walk along in this gritty realm. We're all too young. Take the red road, let the spirits unfold. Follow RezNeck Calkins, let the mysteries be told. Through the dark we'll weave into the unknown. With each step we take closer to home. They say it's fantasy, those hidden cries, but the brave-hearted witness the truth in the sky.
Welcome back to another week of Red Road Paranormal with your favorite RezNeck here. A few things to go through before we get to our first guest. Remember, June 27th, I will be in Baraboo, Wisconsin with Scotty Rourke and the Mad City Ghostbusters team at the old Baraboo Inn for their birthday party. We'll be helping with the investigations and the events throughout the entire night. There's still tickets available if you're interested in it. Check it out on their Facebook page. Also, I'll be in New Orleans August 1st and 2nd for the New Orleans Paracon. I'll be down there speaking on a panel about the Native American, paranormal, supernatural, and some of the medicines and protections with it. Now, with that being said, let's get to our special guest tonight, the bearded wonder, Mr. Tom Springer.
What's up, everyone? How you doing?
Love that beard, my friend. So glorious.
It's just glorious, yeah. So,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, for those of us that don't know who you are, why don't you give a little bit of background who you are and what you're about?
Sure. So my name's Tom Springer. For those who don't know me yet, the beard is my trademark. People seem to recognize me where I go by the beard. So basically, I'm prior military. Had abilities when I was in the military, but did not know I had abilities, and actually didn't walk into my abilities until I was about 4 years ago when I was 49.
Okay.
Realized I went on an investigation with some friends and actually started picking up a lot of things and realizing they were like, I was with two other mediums and they were like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just listening and talking to people around. And they're like, we can do that. How long have you been able to do that? And I went, 10 seconds. So then it kind of developed from there. But I do run the Stuff I Never Learned live stream. And that's simply because that was created because I really didn't know where to turn to ask for help about new abilities or anything else. So I kind of said, hey, let's build a community where we're not breaking the world trying to figure this stuff out and bring on guests who know what they're talking about to kind of help us along. And it's been basically going from there. So now I kind of do a little bit of everything.
Nice. So you already beat one of the things I was going to ask you is when your abilities started.
Oh yeah. I think it's important to let people know that it happened. Like for me, it happened later. That there's no designated time when it can possibly happen to you. It doesn't happen to everybody in childhood or when you're born, and you're not born into it because of a gifted family. No one in my family has ever known about anything like this, and I'm the first one. So
yeah. Well, they say that everyone has the abilities, is whether you choose to believe in them or to accept them.
Correct.
So I know in the era that I grew up in, if you told people you had abilities, you're nutty in a pet coon and you had a straitjacket on.
Oh yeah.
Or you end up where a devil worshiper, according to a lot of the religions. Right. They didn't believe in it.
Yeah.
So it was very taboo growing up.
And it was very interesting growing up because I actually come from a Pentecostal Christian household, and my grandfather was an actual Pentecostal Christian. So my whole family was very religious. I grew up in the Pentecostal Christian faith, and kind of left the faith for a while, but always had the beliefs of it. And I still hold some of those beliefs with me. But you're right. It was definitely interesting growing up. And when you'd see people like us, then you were like, what's wrong with that person? But now it's a lot more common. Now it's a lot more basically appreciated in a way to be accepted by others because of your non-linear religious thinking. So
Yep.
Yeah.
It's. I'm glad we're in a day and age that we are.
Right.
You know, because it makes it a lot easier with life to be able to admit openly what we are, who we are, and what we're about.
Yeah, it took me a good couple of years even to like bring it out to the open at my work. Because like I said, I'm prior military, but I also still work for the military. So to talk about it openly, even in my office or in my unit I'm with, was a little questionable until they were very accepting of it. So I actually offered up a service. We do a services auction, and one of the services I offered was to offer to take people on a paranormal investigation with me for a day.
Nice.
And they bid on it. It went crazy. It like lit up like wildfire. So it was good that it took off so well. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I know the military, they've been studying the psychics and all that for years.
Yeah.
You know, you would have to, they automatically would have been open to it when one of them comes out and says, yeah, well, I have these abilities. And I'm about.
The remote viewing from the secret files way back when from the CIA and everything else, you know, that's documented and stuff. But it was just for me being new to it, and then trying to introduce it to people who have already worked with me for 6 years. And then here I am 6 years later going, oh, by the way, I went on an investigation. Now it turns out I can see, hear, and talk to ghosts and a lot of other things. I'm back from my weekend. Hi. So
yeah, right.
Made it a little interesting to turn that around. So
yeah, it took a lot of years for me to come out public, and I didn't right away when I did come out public with a team. I didn't really lean into my abilities at first. I was more the investigator, and I knew I was sensitive. I knew I had abilities, but I really didn't have that confidence in myself to say, yeah, hey, I'm a psychic medium. It took a lot of training and going through a lot of different things with the Independent Spiritual Association and working with a lot of other mediums, of them going, hey, you know you're more than what you are. You need just to admit it. You need to admit it to yourself, admit it to the world, and take your path.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of how I had to come about, because I'm like, oh, great. I'm part of an investigation team. But I was always like, but this is happening over here. And with the team, I would talk about it. But outside, like when I would like take people on investigations and stuff, I was just like hand out my equipment and go, this will tell us what's out there, rather than saying, and by the way, I can do it too. So I kind of stepped away from that for a little while. But now I tell people, I'm handing you the equipment so you can validate what I'm telling you, so you can sense it yourself. So
I use the equipment to validate what I'm feeling, picking up on, what I'm experiencing, and I love that with the equipment. But I think a lot of teams rely a little too heavily on the newer equipment.
I do too. I'm okay with it if that's all they know and that's what they're used to. But if someone is on the team that can basically read ahead of time, and they basically, like if I was out on an investigation, I very much trust my abilities. But if they're telling me I'd rather see the equipment happen than you, at some point they have to understand that I have been right 99% of the time, and the equipment's been validating me. So maybe you can trust me more than just relying 100% on the equipment.
Yep, so, exactly.
And I'm fine if they want to use the equipment, because that does validate those who don't know or can't see or feel or hear or anything else, that this is actually what's happening. But most of the time, you're going to know ahead of time. Somebody like, oh, by the way, someone's here. Let's start asking questions. And all of a sudden, like a REM pod starts going off or something else. They're like, how'd you know? And I'm like, you asked me to tell you when there was someone here? What you brought me along on it. Yeah, what you brought me along for. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun to do. Cool. Hi, Kimmy.
Now, do you actually see them, or in your physical eye, in your third eye? How does your abilities work with you?
So mine are kind of mine are very hybrid. The first one I saw was actually an apparition walk in on me. So I actually saw her, and she started talking to me, and we were literally with two other mediums, and I started talking to this lady, and they were like, whoa, and we were like on an overnight, like a whole weekend investigation, and we're 10 minutes into this overnight investigation, and we're sitting in the living room getting a game plan together, and I watched this lady walk in, and I'm like, oh, hi, and I start talking to her, and they're like, hold on a second, who are you talking to? And I'm like, well, this lady over there, and they're like, hold on a second, we know she's there because we're mediums and we can sense her, but what do you mean you can see her? And I'm like, I'm literally looking at her, having a conversation with her right now. And they were like, how long have you been able to do that? Like I said, I was like, now? And they were like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. So we've had an understanding through that. And for the time I've been doing it, is that they don't have just one way to come to me. If they want me to see them, I will see them. If they just want to talk, like when I do mediumship readings, I don't get symbols and signs. They're literally talking right into my ear saying, tell them this, tell them this. So I don't have to figure out what a red balloon means for somebody else.
That makes it so much easier.
It really does. They're like, tell him he's an asshole. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I can cuss.
I admit it. I'm a lovable asshole. It's okay.
But they're like, so tell him that. And I'm like, okay, great. So so they tell me directly what I want to say or what they want to say. But when it comes to things like paranormal, I also have another side, which a lot of people seem to be more interested in, which is my ability to see, hear, and talk to earth, wind, water, fire, and metal elementals. From our environmental Native American side, from our indigenous side, I can actually just talk to them just like I am you right now,
right.
and see and discuss with them. So it's really interesting to have these conversations. And when I go on home investigations now, when people contact me to say, hey, I think I have something in my home, there's a lot of times that I have to kind of go in and go, it's not a spirit. Something has been disrupted around here, and it's environmentally causing the issue. And so now you're dealing with an elemental, and have that discussion with them about it's not dangerous to you. It's just it doesn't understand the human energy. So when it works, it pumps out this huge amount of energy, and you're getting overwhelmed and anxious because of the energy you're feeling from it. And all of a sudden you think you're scared because you're being attacked by something. It's really not. It's just trying to like heal the earth or trying to take care of it, whatever. But you feel it the same way you would a spirit. But when I walk in, I feel it and see it totally different. So I can help differentiate between those two.
Yeah. When I've had interaction with the elementals, they've always had a very more dominant feeling to them versus a regular spirit. It's larger than life.
Yeah, that's
really. It's not. I've never been able to find a really good way to explain.
It's like. I try to tell people it's. Bill, I was already there. I went and talked to a couple of them while I was there when I was at the last event I went to over there.
Yep, that's my home haunt.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I was out there. We went out there last summer, blistering hot out there, and that's actually where I met up with where I first met Gwen. But I try to tell people that there's definitely a different feeling, but if you have not interacted with either one, spirit or with elementals, you just get anxious and you just like freeze up and you don't know what to do. But it's constant because they're literally using that energy all the time to help heal the earth, whatever form it is. But it's definitely a different feeling if you know what you're feeling. And that's what is nice when I walk with other people and they're like, we go on, like they'll ask me to, hey, come do a home investigation with me. They're being told they're being haunted. And we walk in and they're like, I don't know this energy. And I'm like, I do. And they're like, what? So then we start talking about it. And they're like, oh, hey. So see, it's like Beetlejuice. I said her name and she showed up.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I try to describe it to people is if you don't know, it's just going to feel the same initially until you're around both of them. And then it becomes a completely different, overwhelming for you. And I try to explain to people, spirit is easier to reason with than elementals, because elementals, their whole goal is just to protect the earth and to fix the earth and to heal the earth. Whereas
one track mind. Right.
Yeah. They don't have they don't have a human conscience. They don't have that. Yeah. They don't care how we feel. If their tract of land is in the way from them healing the earth, your tract of land is going to get cracked or whatever else, because I always tell people there's a good example I have of this is I had a friend of mine who was going to build a home and they leveled a bunch of land and he called me up. He goes, Tom, I don't know what's going on. I've tried to put my foundation down 3 different times and it keeps cracking. And I said, did you fell a lot of trees and wipe out a lot of nature before you did it? He said, yeah. I said, have you given anything back yet? He goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, do you have plans to plant bushes and trees and stuff around your area? He goes, yeah. I go, do that first, like just a couple of them, just so they know you're going to heal the earth back, and then pour your foundation. I go, it's kind of like an offering to them. And he did. He was like, and then he calls me up. He goes, dude, what are you talking about? My foundation didn't crack, and now I have all this stuff up around me. So I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah. You know, another thing, put out a spirit plate for him.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yep.
Leave tobacco for him.
That's exactly what I tell them. I'm like, hey, do tobacco, do wheat, do whatever to put down as some form of an offering to them, to let them know you're giving them an offering to allow to work on the earth, and they'll accept that. Sometimes. Yeah. I can't say all the time, but sometimes.
Some of them can be a little stubborn, but
they can. Yeah. So my first encounter with an earth elemental was kind of surprising. This is when I realized that a lot of my abilities I'm developing, I've had from way back when, and I'm just relearning them.
Yep.
Is I went to a location and I had to face an earth elemental, and it ran from me for the first time. And I went, whoa, hold on. What's going on here? Why are you running? And it says, your essence is older than I am. And I was like, oh, that explains the gray in the beard. But as I was trying to have a conversation with it, again, it does not understand. So it just threw rocks at me, and then went flying out in the other room where the other people were and everything else. Like, what the hell just happened? I'm like, it's mad. It threw rocks. So, so that was my first engagement with one. And then I started learning, oh, wow, you don't look the same as all the other earth elementals. You all have different looks about you. You're basically, I tell people it's like when you look at your family or your cousins or whatever else, or whatever, where people are from different parts of the world, that's what they look like. They look like that dynamic. If you're in the mountainous area, they look like large, boulder, rocky types of elementals. If you're in forest, they look like tree elementals, and
kind of like a Groot.
Right. And it's trying to explain to people how I see them is sometimes a lot of fun to explain. I draw, like, I can't even draw a stick figure. So when I try to draw out what I'm seeing, it looks like a bunch of scribbles. And then I think I somehow add in some letters and numbers, and I don't know how they got in there. And I show them the picture, and they're like, what the hell is that? I'm like, I don't know. So.
Well, you know what? Take a blending stump. Once you get it all on the paper, and take that blending stump, kind of work with it a little bit, it'll start giving a little bit of definition to it. And I bet you
I didn't think about that.
Will come out of that.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good call. So
a little bit of an artist, that's all.
Yeah. Again, stick figures, no. We're lucky I can draw letters and numbers correctly. So
right.
I make doctors proud.
My signature does. I've been told for years I should have been a doctor and look at my signature.
Yep.
So you mentioned indigenous ways. Are you a member of a tribe?
So unfortunately, I have not been able to go back and get my identity proven. But my father passed away when I was very young, when I was 3, and my grandfather already passed away too, and stuff like that. So I haven't found the path to go back to prove my lineage on that. I know I'm 4 different types. I'm kind of a blend from coming up the Trail of Tears. I'm Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, and Cheyenne, so I'm kind of a blend. But I'm also Norse, so that's where the weird combination comes in of how I look.
Right.
The beard and the high cheekbones if I'm not fat. And I tan really easily. But yeah, so it's been a work in progress for me to try to work with like the bureaus, like the native bureaus, to try to see if I can get some assistance and where to go and try to find a lineage path.
I know back in the 90s, my sister did a bunch of research on our family, and we were able to date it back to the early 19th century and all that. Mm-hmm. And she did all her research through the National Archives. She actually dug through microfiche. And for those of you that might be young, microfiche are these little plastic cards you put into a thing, and it's almost like a projector, and you read it and you swipe them back and forth to change them out. Yep. But that might be something to look at. And of course, you got all them 23andMe and DNA and family tree things nowadays. Yep. And
I think that's where my next path is. Because I'm able to identify, unfortunately, like I said, my mom's side of I know a little better than my dad's. And again, they passed away when I was very young, and I never had a good contact with that side of the family. because he was from another marriage, and so he has other kids. But when it came to me, it was just me, my mom, and my dad. Really, at that point, that was from his side. So
Okay.
I really didn't have the connection that I needed to help further that. But I've had a couple people say, "Hey, let me go ahead and get you in touch with like the bureaus, the native bureaus, stuff like that, to try to see if they can assist you." So
Yeah, the BIA.
Yep. So I'm looking through some of that to see if I can get more understanding of in depth of where what it's all from. So
Yeah.
But growing up, that's what was like written down that my dad had and everything else that I've grown up knowing. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Well, I wish you luck on that journey, because
Thank
it's
you.
a very rewarding when you find out, basically where you come from.
Yeah.
And it does explain a lot with the beliefs that we have.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our beliefs stem back to that. It's in our DNA.
Yeah, and I'm very strong in that. I mean, it's something I've never wavered on. But it's a very interesting combination, being Norse and indigenous. My Norse side I know a lot better. I can track that one back a lot more. That's my mom's side, so I can track that one back a lot better. But it's just very interesting. So if you want to know how to say that name, it's Uilani Ku'ule. She's from Hawaii, so
Nice. My niece is over in Hawaii. She works on that big telescope over there. She's one of the scientists on it.
Yeah. So most people call her Mary because they can't pronounce Uilani Ku'ule, or they call her Uilani. So
Ui sounds good to me.
She's a bleed over from when I do my show. So
Nice.
That's
when are your shows?
So when are they right now?
Yeah.
Or what are they? So
when?
So
we'd say what too, but
so right now my primary show is actually on hold. I'm not going to start that back up again until fall, and that's the one that's the main one. My stuff I never learned from a school book.
okay.
That's my live stream. We'll see if Gwen's still on here, because we'll see if she reacts. I'm actually maybe discussing coming over to the All Access Network and come
to the dark side.
Right? So we'll see. But she and I have been working out some things. But with me working for the military, the summer's been a little busy, so I kind of had to shut down things because I've been traveling so much for work. All my recorded stuff is still out there though for 4 years, so people can go out and watch it. It's not a big deal. It kind of gets you warned of what's going on. Oh yeah, there you go. So she's your niece on the same island. But it kind of warns you ahead of time what you're going to be prepared for if you decide to come watch my show. Other than that, I'm the Midwest director for something called the Paranormal Existence Research Society. I don't know if you know Bill Slevin, but he's our primary director. And we're a worldwide group. And this is when I do my home investigation stuff, because we have a huge team of people across the world that we can reach out to and say, hey, I'm doing a psychic and mediumship type of thing, but I need something from here, or I need something from here. So we can go pull from the team, because there's so many different people in the group that we can. And our the greatest part about our home investigation stuff for people who think they have something is we're free. We don't ever charge for anything, because it's too easy to dupe people into believing what you have and say, hey, you have something here, and for $5,000 I'll get rid of it. That's just wrong. So so that's the other part I'm in, is that, but that's not really a show. That's just another program. That's another part that I run. And then I do have my own investigation team. It's literally just me and my wife. We get asked all the time for people to join, but we do have a team that we're the Sixth Sense investigation team. So
very cool.
That's who we are. So, but yeah.
I'm no longer team affiliated, so I kind of help out with a lot of other teams in the area when they call me and say, hey, mind coming helping out this investigation, whether it's a private one or a public one, stuff like that. And I've learned now since I've become an independent, I love the freedom and the right that, when people call, I can say, I can be there tomorrow. I don't have to run it up the chain and see if they got everyone's got time.
Yeah. And for us, it's big to see, because it lets us see how other teams investigate, because it is just my wife and I. And if we're just like, hey, people say, hey, do you want to come investigate with us? We would love a couple more hands. We're like, sure. And it teaches us a different dynamic that maybe we hadn't thought of. And it also
Exactly.
teaches them the same thing. Like, oh, you guys do this. That would be a great idea to do. We should start using that. And I mean, I have a hard time with some of the community right now because nothing we do is proprietary. We're all investigating. You know, maybe some of your equipment's proprietary, but investigations. I don't care what you use of mine that I already, you know, that it's a way I do or whatever else. Use it. If it helps you, it helps you. We're all trying to find the same thing. So
exactly.
It helps you do it. So
yeah. I'm not too much of a fan of the community with all the egos.
Yep.
Just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
I think if we work together like you do and like I do with more teams, not only are we learning from each other, but we're advancing and building bonds and friendships that later could help someone else down the line.
Right. Absolutely.
You know.
Yep.
So and that's the biggest thing with, you know, those of us with abilities. That's our job. We're basically healers.
Right.
Whether it is you need a word from someone from your past that might be passed away on the other side, or if you need to heal your house healed, if you're having any issues, you know, when we come in and do a clearing, we're healing the land and the spirits that are there and helping them coincide with them. Yeah.
Yep. Or remove them if they do not want to play well with others. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how many times, actually, I can't say I'm amazed anymore. I used to be amazed, but how many times I went to someone's home and they were like, oh, I'm haunted. I have a demon. And I walk in and I go, ma'am, that's your grandma. She's just letting you know she's around. So maybe you don't want to get rid of her. She's literally the one playing with the light switch. So you know that she's there. Because you said, hey, give me a sign 3 weeks ago. And she is, and you're not paying attention.
Right.
You're like, I'm grandma staying here. We're good.
A picture flew across the hallway. Well, whose picture was it? Grandma's. Well, maybe she's trying to give you a sign then.
Right. Maybe you're trying to fight through something or figure out something and you're looking for help.
You know,
grandma's sending you a signal. So
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and tell everyone right now, be careful about the signs you ask for.
Yeah.
All right. I asked for a sign about my career. And guess what? They gave me a heart attack, and then I got fired a few days later, forced to resign. But it was a large enough sign for me to see where my next path was going, because I wasn't listening.
Yeah, that's and I'll share this because my wife's okay with me sharing it. But they gave her a sign too. First, actually, they gave her a couple of them. First, she broke her shoulder, dislocated her shoulder, and then she still did not slow down enough. So they went ahead and gave her breast cancer and said, now what you going to do? And she's like, I guess I'm slowing down. And she literally took that as, I guess that's a sign telling me I need to slow down and take more care of myself than everything else around me and just, you know, step back for a second. So it's good for her. She's really slowed down. She's in full remission now and everything else. So she's good. But she definitely has taken that step back and said, okay, I need to do me time as well. So that's good.
Yeah. I was at that threshold of, do I keep working for advancements, or do I just say it's time to start following my passions because I'm in a place in my life where I can?
Right.
And I hawed back and forth for months on this. And finally, you know, literally 4 weeks ago, I was in the hospital and like, oh, you're having a heart attack. I'm what?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I knew my blood pressure was high, but I didn't think it was that serious.
Yeah. And so basically, decision was made for you. They said, hey, we're going to go ahead and put you in the situation where you need to understand what we're telling you.
Yep. You are being sidelined for a reason.
You wanted a sign. Here's your sign. It was a big sign, but you have a sign now.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, sometimes, you know, most people waver back and forth. Me, since I've been off work now for the last 3.5 weeks, I start thinking about going back. Then I start thinking about the stress involved, how unhappy I was. And I go, I'd rather just help people.
Right.
I'd rather do my thing in the paranormal. And even my tattooing, I'm healing people. Because a lot of people that come to me for my tattoo work are ex-cutters. Or they need someone to talk to. They need them endorphins. And they don't have that outlook, so they don't feel like they're comfortable going to talk to a doctor.
Right.
And it's no different than them pouring their heart out to the bartender when you're half in the bag. Yeah. Except for this time, they're sober and they're actually talking about things
Yep.
And I can use my intuition to kind of say, well, this is what I'm picking up on, or
Yeah.
B, I can use my own personal life experiences or the experiences of my family that I've seen to help them.
Yep.
So to help them heal along their journey.
Yeah. Can I do a shameless plug for somebody that's in your audience right now for that?
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
So Kimmy Corpse, her first name is actually Kimmy. And she and I live in the same area. And I've worked with her a couple of times on larger events, not together, but we've been in the same conventions. But she's one of those people. She runs Belladonna Tattoo Parlor. And she does intuitive tattooing. So someone will come in and she'll just get a sense and be like, hey, draw what you feel, tattoo what you feel. And so she does a lot of intuitive tattooing. So she actually works at Belladonna Tattoo Parlor over in Bellevue, Nebraska, just east of Omaha. But she's a fantastic person for doing stuff like that. I can't give her enough credit for taking the time out, same thing you do, to sit and listen to people who just sit down and do tattoos and just kind of share their angst or just their life with them. It's to me, it's equal to like a bartender sitting at a bar, except now they're getting ink work instead of sitting there drinking a beer. And you're just kind of therapists. You're therapy and you're therapist while you're tattooing and while you're listening to them and helping maybe give them a couple of ideas that maybe they hadn't thought of. So Kimmy's that same person. So hopefully,
awesome.
Gets that.
Hopefully one of these days, me and that Kimmy Corpse will cross paths. Because I know there's also another Kimmy Corpse down south. She's usually pops in the show also a lot.
This might be the one. This might be your Kimmy Corpse. Because there's another one out there that I know of that she's out here in Bellevue. So I say, I mean, I literally just got all the lightning done on my arm.
Nice.
And it's not quite done yet. He's done it all, but he's going back to do all the highlights on it with colors and everything else. And he has the one that has the pigment in it that when you turn the lights off and put a blue light on it or a black light on it, it actually shows up like fire. So
I have some of them.
That's his next step he's doing on my arm.
Nice.
So I know what that's like. I sat there and talked to him for like 2.5 hours while he worked on my arm. And when I left, it wasn't just good for the tattoo, but it was good for my soul. So it was, it was just a nice talk. So
it is, you know, and me personally, I can tattoo myself all day long.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find a time and someone you can trust just to lay in their chair and get that.
Right.
Because we need it too once in a while.
Well, right. Absolutely. And that's what's good about the guy who does my tattoo work. We're close enough friends, and I know enough about his past story. Even though we're very recent friends, we trust each other like brothers, and he'll sit there and just talk to me the same way I talk to him. And so it's very cathartic for both of us to be able to just to sit there and have that conversation. So
I feel you guys have been around this rock before together in a past lifetime. That's where you guys feel that.
I think so too. It's very comfortable. When I first met him, we were there right on the page as soon as I met him. So
there's been a handful of people I've met over the years that have been that way, where it's like you start talking to them, next thing you know, you're talking about the most intimate shit in your life.
Right. You're talking about families and stuff like that. It's interesting how quickly you can just turn on that switch with somebody and know you're going to be okay, that you can trust them.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. So do you do any kind of like card readings or anything like that? Or
so I only pull tarot for myself. And that's only like if I'm struggling with something. For the most part, I'm pretty solid with what I started doing it just once a day just to kind of see if that's how my day played out. I wasn't trying to affect it, but I would just see it. And then at the end of the day, I'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot to read a card. And I'll go back and look at the card again and go, oh, that happened. Or oh, I can see how it might have tied into that, but not fully. So I'm not a tarot reader by trade. Mine is really like this. It's face to face, over the phone, through video, whatever else. And I pick up things all the way across the world. Like I was doing my show like this, and a lady that I'm very good friends with, I call her my sister, from Indonesia, she popped on and she had a question. And I'm like, oh, I know who exactly that was. And she's like, I was like, that's all the way around the world. How did you know? I'm like, because I'm watching it through her eyes as she's doing it. Yeah. And they were like, okay. So, and I was naive, still kind of naive, but I was naive enough that when I first started having my abilities, I'm like, okay, so now that I have abilities, we all have the same abilities. I did not know that we could have like just some of or different. I just thought we all had the same. Once you had abilities, everyone had the same abilities. Now I know better, but initially I was like, what do you mean you can't do that? I've been able to do that for like the last month. And like, yeah, that's unique. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. So
Yeah, every so often, it's like with me, I'll get names.
yeah,
And it shocks me every time when I get a name and it's actually right.
yeah.
You know, but very rarely does that happen. But a lot of people I talk to go, no, I don't ever get names.
Yeah, I get names a lot. That's actually what I get. I don't get letters, I get names. Like I'll get a full on name. Now my latest curiosity ability has been like I'll be driving by somewhere and I'll get a name and I'll come back and I'll ask Nikki, hey, who is this person? And she's like, oh, that's that's so-and-so's husband. And I'm like, is he alive? And she's like, yeah. And then like 2 weeks later, we find out he has an illness. And I'm like, uh-oh. So now I'm starting to pick up on live people. And it seems like when I do, something's coming up. Normally they're already sick or they're going to get a sickness or something along those lines. And so it's almost like I'm picking up on future developments that may have a problem with their health. And that's new. I fought with it if I wanted to actually accept that gift or not. And I've decided I do. It's something I'm fully in on because for me, it's just another ability way to help somebody out. At least say, hey, look, I don't know if this means anything, but just so you know, I got your name yesterday. Do me a favor, start looking out for yourself over the next couple of weeks, whatever. Just kind of help them prep just in case. But that's a very new situation for me, probably the last 2 or 3 months that I'm starting that. So yeah.
Yeah, becoming a medical intuitive.
Yeah, they're still rolling in and I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. So
yeah,
but something has to trigger it. Like I can't just sit here. I couldn't have just sat here and gone, hey Rez, by the way, 4 weeks ago, you were going to have a heart attack. I literally drove by the lady's street she lives on that my wife works with. Yep. And then when I got home, I'm like, hey, I drove by this lady's street. Who is this person? She goes, that's her husband. I didn't know her husband's name. And I'm like, well, I got his name. And she's like, well, he's still alive. And then we found out that he has a sickness that he's going through right now. But so it has to be a trigger going by them or coming in touch with them or something else that triggers a live name. It can't just be a random, I wake up in the middle of the night and go, well, shit, type of thing. It has to be something that triggers it, or I'm near that person or that area or something. So
yeah, some randomly every so often I'll get someone that I know in my circle. They'll pop in my head and a message will come up or something, and I'll reach out to them. Hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why, but we need to talk.
Yeah, I did that with a very well-known person not too long ago. I haven't reached out to her forever, but she was on one of my shows. We kind of chat back and forth like once every couple of months. But it's been a while since I've been working that I probably have reached out to her for like 4 or 5 months. And all of a sudden I reach out to her just to say, hey, thinking of you, hope you're doing fine, everything else. And then it was, hey, I appreciate it. My dad just passed away. How did you know that I needed someone to reach out? And it was just the sixth sense that you just pick up on and say, hey, I need to reach out, at least say hi, are you okay? Type of thing. And it's amazing how many times we do that because we're so connected just through soul connection or whatever else. But I mean, everyone you come in contact with throughout the day, you are now soul connected for that person, unless you actually separate before you go to bed. And a lot of people understand that. Like I have to separate everybody before I go to bed and say, hey, Rez, I'm talking to you today, but later on tonight, I got to disconnect from you because if you start feeling anxious or angry or something else, I can still pick up on some of that, and it can cause my mood to go, why am I so angry? What's going on? And it's somebody that I connected with throughout the day, and I'm just not recognizing it. So that energy is still feeding me, or they're still taking on my energy. So I think a lot of that comes through to us that we recognize I got to reach out to somebody and just make sure they're okay. So
yeah, there's several different ways to disconnect. I don't know how you do it. One of the initial ways I was originally taught is start like brushing yourself off. Imagine your hand being like a knife blade and you're cutting silver cords away from you.
Yep.
That's all the connections that you've gained over that day.
Yep. Mine is simply just visualizing it. Like I basically see myself standing, and then I just have this large basically blade come down and just cut all the way through my entire length of my body. in front of me to separate those cords. And I send back all their energy with love and light every single time.
Yep.
But then I recall my own as well, saying, this belongs to me now. You can't have it anymore. This is mine. And you have yours back. So, yeah.
You know, another way I've learned is visualize that white light that starts within you, and it starts gradually growing outward to the point where basically it bursts out of you.
Yeah.
You see them cords drop off. You see everything push out of your area. That's another way I've learned to kind of cleanse my house without having to bust out the sage or the cedar
right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And for the people who know me or even don't know me, a lot of people use the white light. I'm kind of stubborn. And I want stuff to be able to get as close to me as possible without being able to touch me. So my image that I see is literally like a superhero suit pressed up against my body, but it's made of like the golden light of God, and I call it a golden dragon mail that just sits on me. So nothing can penetrate into it, but you can get as close to me as you want to without affecting me. And I'm more than happy to share energy that way. But if I want to let you in, I'll open up a spot. But otherwise, my energy is mine, type of thing. So, and that's the same way I go on investigations, because I want whatever it is to be able to come right up to my face and get this close, and know that it can come have a conversation with me, but there's no way it's getting through my armor.
Right.
But there's a different reaction if you try to come through my armor. It's not going to be pleasant to you.
So, this is my sacred bubble. This is my sacred armor.
My space go away. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. I know Christina Bloom, my bestie. She describes it as the trailer ball hitch. You know, think about being encased inside of a ball hitch. Yeah, and things are so hard. Think about how much damage they do to us every year. We run into them
to our shin all the time. Right? Oh
yeah. So that's some of the hardest thing. You're not going to snap a ball in half.
No.
So that's what she teaches in some of her classes. Hey, picture that around you.
Yeah. Yeah. So Teresa's doing the same thing I am. She has a shield of energy from her. And it's funny because you can see my back wall. Everything on me is Superman, and that's literally how I see it. Is that tight of an armor, so it can come right up to me, but not penetrate me at all. So. Yep.
Yeah. Now, have you ever dealt with anything real like dark or negative or anything like that?
I have. We went to so there's been a couple of times, but one of them I share with people. I don't tell the location. But we went to a location, and we were with two other mediums, and one of them was not supposed to go under. We had one that was doing an Estes method, and the other one was not supposed to go under. She was supposed to be aware with me. And next thing we know, she's talking, and we're like, what the hell? And her eyes are closed. She's completely done. And she's talking, but she's saying stuff like, what are you talking about? And just before that, there was a distraction that happened on someone else so that she can jump into this person. And so the distraction really worked, and it pulled all of her attention away from one of our friends, and she got jumped. And at one point, after we were trying to get it out, she said, I want you. And she was looking at my wife at the time. And my wife goes, me? And her eyes go completely black. And she turns and she looks at me and she goes, no, you. And I went, okay. So I actually grabbed her and I'm like, come on in. And so I felt it come in, but I trapped it at my shoulder. So it couldn't actually, and so I trapped it in my arm. And I went outside and I put it into the ground and I pushed it out. And then she came outside and she was throwing up the black bile. And I mean, she was done for the night. She was just, and that was, that shook us all for quite a while. But someone's like, how did you know to do that? And my honest reaction was, I have no clue. I just knew how to do it.
It was your guides.
Right. And it was, I think it was between my guides and something I had done in the past, something I learned in the past that was becoming, recognized to me again from a past life. Yep. It was saying, you can do this. And I was like, okay, well, let's dance. And it was very interesting to come across that, because that was my first time ever dealing with anything. We've seen negative things, but nothing in that negative of a light to where it actually takes someone over and threatens somebody else. Right. We've dealt with things like that. So I put it down into the ground and I basically dissipated into nothing. I gave it back to, let it just go to nothing. And that's something that's one of the other things that I do is I have this. So I have a lot of different abilities, but my greatest one I call the John Coffey effect. So if anyone has watched The Green Mile, whenever he touches somebody, he can kind of get a jolt of what happens to them. One of my greatest abilities that I feel I have is if you're sad, anxious, depressed, whatever, and you need assistance, if I grab a hold of you in a hug with intent, I can help alleviate, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. And the big part that people don't understand is, and I explain it to them so you will understand, is I never take it into myself. I take it from you and it sits on my armor. And then when I let you go and you're better, then it just dissipates like it never existed into the ether. It just goes nowhere. It just like exactly like it never existed. And I've had to help a couple people with that who have just been decimated, and they just could not come out of their funk or whatever else. And it's also really good to go investigations because I can also recharge your energy like that. I'm like an Energizer bunny. I don't get tired on investigations. So I'll hug people and give them a bunch of energy and like, okay, let's go again. So it's pretty fun to do on investigations.
I'm kind of like that too. I know everyone after investigations are, oh, I'm wiped, I'm tired.
Yep.
I'm wide awake till the next morning.
Yeah, that's
Yep. I get a little drained during Estes. Well, all I gotta do is step outside, smoke a cigarette, have a soda, and I'm ready to go back in. Yeah.
I don't. When everyone goes to sleep or if we're doing an overnight, I'm the one that's walking the ground still to make sure everything's fine. I've had people wake up and they're like, "Why are you still up?" And I'm like, "Because you're sleeping." That's literally how I'm definitely a protector. I did it when I was in the military. I've done it for years and years. So when I yeah, she's experienced them. So Uilani got to experience some of them when I was out there with her. But yeah, I'm always that one that walks. I don't sleep, and I don't get tired until I get home. After the investigation's over and I drive however many miles it is to come back home, that's when I'll shut down. But for that whole time, my energy is kicked up because I'm built in as a healer, protector, just to be aware type of person. And that's just how I've always been.
Nice. Very cool. So we are getting down to the last, 15 minutes or so of the show. So if you had an opportunity to go anywhere in the world, money not an option, where would you go to investigate?
Oh, that's a good one. I get, a lot of people ask me this question and I never come up with the same answer twice.
Well, there's so many good places.
Well, right. And my biggest, I have to focus into like with my abilities now. Because when I was in the military, I went to 38 different countries in 8 years. So I've been a lot of places.
Right.
But without my abilities. Now with my abilities, where would I want to go? Honestly, I would probably not go to like a lot of the normal places. Like everyone wants to go to Ireland or Scotland or, Romania or stuff like that. They want to go to the big known. I would actually probably go somewhere in the Pacific Asian. I might do Japan, which I know is a big one for a lot of people, but I would love to do China.
That'd be cool.
They've gone through and stuff like that, or even investigate the grounds of like Vietnam or stuff like that, because there's still souls.
There's a lot of energy there,
right? And that's the kind of thing I'd be interested in, the ones that aren't so common for people to go to, because I think it just resonates a different energy that no one's used to feeling, and I would want to experience something like that. So it'd probably be somewhere along the Pacific area.
Okay, now would you be over there just investigating, or would you be trying to help those that want to be cross over?
So the question always comes down to, do I have the right to cross them over? If a family member asks me to help cross someone over, then I will help them cross over. If it is a being that has passed and has just been stuck, quote unquote, stuck for a while, and they're just lost, I may try to help them cross over. But I will always try to seek permission first to cross someone over before I cross someone over. So that's for me, that's kind of a double-edged sword. I have to make sure that I've exhausted all opportunities to help the person, find out first if I'm allowed to before I do it.
That's the proper way to do it.
Right.
I've had times where I've had to help spirits cross over. That's because they wanted to. They were here, and either they didn't know any better or they thought that it was all fire and brimstone if they crossed over.
Right.
They were scared. Whatever the reason may have been.
Or they just didn't know how. Like they're just like, hey, I don't. It was an instantaneous death, and no one gave me a rule book on how I'm supposed to go from this side to that side. You know,
right?
Where's my playbook? So yeah.
So yeah, I get that. That resonates totally with me.
Good.
Now, what's your thoughts on UFOs? Just throwing it out there.
I believe in them. So one of the other abilities that I've had for quite a while is when I hear spirit here, I hear it here, or I feel it here. Yep. When it's other dimensions or other beings, it's through my shoulders. So it's a totally different feeling when I'm talking to a different dimension or a different location outside of what we consider our spirit realm. The feeling hits me differently, and the voices are different. I can still understand them, and I think that ties to the fact that I know that I have many starseed pasts, and I have DNA in different starseed locations. So I believe I can speak the language. This is why I understand them a lot. But I've also talked to too many people who have had experiences that are even though they don't have solid proof in their hand, the story is too legit to say, even if it's wrong, you totally believe it. So I have to trust you're the one who experienced it.
Yeah, you can feel the genuineness.
Right. So I believe in it. We have a lady out here, Christy Peterson, who is known to be like the foremost known person to speak with from NASA, and she has a hybrid child. So she's talked on my shows and everything else. So I absolutely believe in it. So
nice. Yeah, I think if you're closed-minded and think that we're the only life forms that the Creator made, and just on this special rock on this vast universe, come on.
Yeah.
Let's open our eyes up and think about the actual science behind that.
Complete arrogance. So yeah.
I agree.
We're not even the top of the food chain on our planet. So
no way. Yeah. We are definitely not. So,
right.
There's many things out there that will take us out if we let it.
Yes, absolutely.
So now shameless plug time.
Okay. So again, I'm coming back probably onto this network, the All Access Network, with stuff I never learned from a school book. I'm still working that out with Gwen. So stay tuned for that. Again, if you need assistance for home investigation, business investigations, anything else, we work in person as well as online across the world. And our team is called Paranormal Existence Research Society, or PERS, P-E-R-S. And then finally, if you're in the local area and you want to team up, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. So basically local area to me is 5-6 hours out. If you want to team up and you want to do some investigating together, feel free to reach out to me directly at my site. My site is Stuff I Never Learned from a School Book. I have email there. Or you can go out to Sixth Sense Investigations and my link out there goes to the same email. So you can email me out there.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, if you're not following them already on Facebook, follow them.
Appreciate
Check out his shows when they come back. This is the first time we've actually had a chance to actually talk. I think we met at the Rock Down last year. I think
it was a Paranormal Rock Down. That's where we were at.
Yep. So, and when I first heard the name, it didn't dawn on me until I seen the beard, like you said. Well, that's actually, I've met this guy before.
That's actually where I met Gwen and Bill and all them too. It was the first time I met them, so it was great.
Yeah, so this guy's amazing. So make sure you go follow him, check him out, check his shows out if they come back to the network or wherever they land. Definitely. When you do get your show up and going, I'm available. Let me know.
Awesome.
I'd love to come on and chat with you some more.
I'll bring you on. Even if it's back on this network, we'll just switch and we'll just have you come on my show.
There you go. So, all right. So, my pit bull's going nuts over here on my bed for some reason, tearing it all up. Hey, stop that. Because you see the dog father. So, anything else? Any last words you want to tell anyone?
I just appreciate you having me on. I'm glad for those who follow me that came over to watch you. And I'm going to do the same thing because I'm telling you what, you remembered me from Broadhead, but I remember you because I talked to Gwen about you. I went out and saw some of your shows on here and everything else, and I really appreciate it. So if you're not following me, if you're not following Red Road Paranormal, get your ass out there and start following, because Rez is a hell of a guy. So
thank you.
And I think we're kind of from the same cloth, that we're available to help others, and that's really what the shows are out, is to kind of share the information. I always tell people, it doesn't matter how funny or how dumb the show is, you're always going to learn something new.
Yes.
And so that's what the show is designed for, and it seems like we're kind of cut from the same cloth. So I would recommend the same thing, to have people push to you and start following you as well, if they're not already.
Well, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate that. Yeah, the biggest thing is I want to leave something behind for future generations to learn from, to inspire them, along with helping those that need our help. So I'm feeling this is be a nice little long friendship we got going on here, and
I think so. Yeah,
I can see us working together in the future, maybe on a few projects.
Yep, I would agree. So that sounds like a good idea to me.
So, yeah. Well, guys, keep your eyes open. You never know what's going to happen. So other than that, I'd like to say good night. Remember, don't waste your time dreaming your life away. Get out there and live your dreams today. And with that being said, Sean, take us away, please.